You already know what's the big event for the week, but Monday, first of all, it will be here, but it's a US holiday, so we'll have more movements according to the Chinese stock market, weekend news, oil prices, things like that. Less indicators doesn't mean less action. There's always action in recent weeks. On Tuesday, we have Chinese GDP figures. We know that the Chinese government, more or less, trying to find a nice word, but it's very unusual. I mean, it's hard to understand how they make up these numbers so fast in the first quarter when it's such a huge country, the world's second largest economy, and a very, very large country in general. Anyway, even if they invent the numbers and even if nobody believes it, it certainly moves markets. UK inflation data also on Tuesday. It's important for the Bank of England. It's their mandate to have inflation between 1 to 3%, around 2%, and of course they're missing it because of oil prices. Let's see if at least core inflation rises. The pound is very sensitive to that. On Wednesday, we have employment data from the UK, not less important, especially wages, which are, of course, related to inflation and to employment. US inflation data, now that the Fed looks more closely at inflation, let's see especially core inflation, if it remains stable and solid close to 2%, or if it slips below. For those of you trading the Canadian dollar, it's a big day because we have the Canadian rate decision. There is some speculation of a rate cut. I'm not sure it'll happen now, but the Bank of Canada, the Bank of Canada could be happy with the fall in the Canadian dollar and not push CAD even lower for now. But you never know. Last year at this time, in their January decision, they surprised markets with the cut. It was one day before the ECB, and they surprised us. And oil inventories, of course, also related. Also this year, they have, on Thursday, it's all about the European Central Bank, the Draghi show, no changes expected in the interest rate, and nothing in the QE program. The big question is, will they keep the door open for action in March or not? A struggle there between Mario Draghi and a few doves, and on the other hand, Jens Weidmann of the Bundesbank and a few hawks. The ECB has already done a lot, and the governments need to do more. That's what they say all the time. Okay. But on the other hand, inflation fell more than expected, and that's even before the recent fall in oil prices. So, of course, we'll do a more detailed preview next week. And on Friday, it's not over. It's echoes from the ECB, of course, and UK retail sales. And for those of you trading the loonie, the week ends with a bang, with a double feature of Canadian inflation and retail sales to provide sort of the last word after all the other movements. So the third week of January begins maybe a bit slow with the vacation on Monday in the United States, but I think the ECB decision, any week that features the ECB, the Draghi show, is a very, very exciting week, in my opinion. Okay, that's it for the preview for next week.